Hey everyone, how's it going? This is Mike, and I'm back to do midweek chat with James. Hi James. Okay, James has us doing lists again. Alright. So I made up a whole bunch of answers here. Okay. Top 5 actors, alright. John Cassavetes, Robert Mitchum, Christopher Lee, Boris Karloff, and Bela Lugosi, alright. And a couple of special mentions to young actors who are still breathing, Christian Bale and Sean Astin. Okay. Favorite actresses, top 5. Barbara Steele, Bette Davis, Jenna Rollins, Louise Brooks, and Monica Vitti. Top 5 directors, John Cassavetes, Woody Allen, Michelangelo Antonioni, Alfred Hitchcock, and Roger Corman. Top 5 film genres. That's pretty easy. Horror, film noir, science fiction, musical, and documentary. All right. 5 films to watch over and over. This is very flexible. Well, these are all pretty flexible. I would say All About Eve, Mario Bava's Black Sunday, The Bat from 1959 with Vincent Price and Agnes Moorehead, The Breakfast Club, and Ray Dennis Steckler's The Incredibly Strange Creatures Who Stopped Living and Became Mixed Up Zombies. Okay? And the 5 best movies ever made. That's pretty flexible too. Casablanca, All About Eve, The Best Years of Our Lives, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, and Days of Heaven by Terrence Malick. Top 5 horror films. This was the hard one because anyway. This kind of ebbs and flows too. Black Sunday by Mario Bava, the original Frankenstein, the original Dracula, The Innocents from 1961 starring Deborah Kerr, and The Haunting from 1963 directed by Robert Wise. Top 5 superhero films. Well, I started out with the Superman from 1978 and the sequels. I can't remember whether there were 2 or 3. I really don't remember. But I added on to them the original Spider-Man and the first Iron Man film, which I like very much. I don't know why I didn't see the second one, but I did like the first one. Action films. This is not really one of my favorite genres. I couldn't think of a lot, but I did put down Raiders of the Lost Ark. Okay, great movie. Westerns. Okay, let's see. Top 5 westerns. Well, I had The Alamo, The Searchers, High Noon, Shane, and then I had this other one. This is a film called The Unforgiven, and it's not the Clint Eastwood Unforgiven. This is a film from 1960 that a lot of you may not know about. It's kind of obscure. It's directed by John Huston. It stars Burt Lancaster, Audrey Hepburn, Audie Murphy, Lillian Gish, Charles Bickford, Doug McClure, John Saxon. The Unforgiven, a very, very good film. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Look for it. It's really wonderful. Very different. Top 5 dramas. I have some prompts for that one. Hang on a second. Okay. Top 5 dramas. Requiem for a Dream. Interiors by Woody Allen. The Red Violin. Bus Stop with Marilyn Monroe. Best thing she ever did. And finally, just moved the camera, sorry. There I am. Opening Night by John Cassavetes, starring Jenna Rollins. Great, great movie. Okay, what next? Science fiction. Okay, no props for that one, but I have Forbidden Planet, It, The Terror from Beyond Space, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Star Trek First Contact, and Star Trek 4 Voyage Home. Alright. Top 5 comedies. I do have props for that one. Okay. Woody Allen's Annie Hall. Also from Woody, Hannah and Her Sisters. There's Something About Mary, which I have not opened yet. Bought it for $3 at Big Lots. Woody Allen's The Purple Rose of Cairo. Okay. And finally, the original Hairspray, which I like very much. I don't like the remake. I like the original. Top 5 war movies. Okay, I put down All Quiet on the Western Front, The Longest Day, So Proudly We Hail. I can only think of 4. And the fourth one is Saving Private Ryan, which really is a wonderful, wonderful, beautifully made film, very moving. And I could never watch it again. I don't think I could take it. I went to see that movie with my dad, who had been in World War II, and he was stationed in England. He was involved with the preparations for the invasion of France. And I never, to this day, I don't know, my dad has died, and I don't know exactly what his involvement in the war was, but I do know that almost every day for the rest of his life, he had nightmares. I mean, it's not funny. He would wake up screaming and yelling for help. Help me, help me. I mean, just almost every day for the rest of his life. And according to what my mother told us, because she was there too, but that's where they met, in England. And it had something to do with his experiences in the war. Anyway, that's the story. So, Saving Private Ryan. What next? Animated films. Well, I'm not a big fan of modern day animated films. The only new one I've been to see is the one from Disney, The Hunchback of Notre Dame, which is really wonderful. And the other ones I came up with were the original Sleeping Beauty, the original Snow White, Fantasia, which is probably right at the top of the list, and also 101 Dalmatians. Those were cool when we were growing up. Now we're on to TV shows. Top 5 TV shows: Star Trek, the original series, Star Trek Voyager, Route 66, Rawhide, and Seinfeld. Animated TV, this is another category that I don't really know much about. I've never seen The Simpsons or any of that stuff, just haven't watched them. And so I just came up with 2. One is Star Trek, the animated series, and the other is Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex, which I think was a TV series. I'm pretty sure it was, but I've only read it on DVD, but it's pretty interesting stuff. Okay, comic book franchise. I had to skip that one too because I'm not into the whole comic book genre. Sorry. Favorite books to read over and over? Well, I generally don't read a lot of books a second time. There have only been a few that I have read all the way through twice, and one is Ray Bradbury's Fahrenheit 451, which I've talked about before, and I don't have it here with me. Another one that I have read through more than once is Brian Moore's Catholics, which is a very, very good story, and was also made into an excellent film starring Martin Sheen. Okay. Another book that I've read almost all the way through, I've certainly read a lot of excerpts from it and chapters, over and over again, things like that, is The Book of Skulls by Robert Silverberg, who is a science fiction writer, but this is not, I would not classify this as science fiction, but it's a very, very good story. Very depressing, but it's good. And my favorite book of poetry, which I have read, I've probably read all these 1,000 times. I've had this book for a very, very long time. This is by Leonard Cohen. It's called The Spice Box of Earth, and I've loved that for a long time. And this is a book I've had since I was in high school. The price on it is 60 cents, so it shows you. It came from 1967. I was 16 at the time. It's called A Feast of Blood, right? And it's just a collection of short stories, mainly to do with vampires. And one of them is called Blood Sun, written by Richard Matheson. And there's another one in here called The Room in the Tower, and one called Revelations in Black. One is called Wake Not the Dead. Just very dramatic, gothic vampire stories. And I've loved this for a long time, so, okay. Anyway, I just knocked the camera over. Sorry, folks. Okay, now topic 2 is, what is YouTube to me? Well, the short answer is YouTube basically is my substitution for television. I come home from work at night at 11:30 p.m. and instead of watching TV, I watch YouTube, and I'll sit there for hours, not just watching the videos that all of you make, but just zoning off on watching old clips from TV shows, movies, interviews, all kinds of people rattling on about conspiracy theory nonsense, religious stuff, all listening to old rock and roll. I spend hours and hours on YouTube. So that's what it's become to me. But YouTube for me has also, and I've said this before too, that it's become an exercise in self-expression, and that's one reason why I like doing this in front of the camera. I'm learning how to be comfortable with myself, with my face, with my voice, and in sharing it with other people. So that's been a big thing for me. And I don't know, I appreciate the positive feedback I get. I feel like I've met a lot of people, made a lot of friends. And even though the videos that I do don't really get a huge amount of viewers, and I don't have 1,000 subscribers and all that, and probably never will. And that really is not the point for doing this. It's just I don't know. It's just kind of a collective. That's the wrong word. Kind of an accumulative effect, that the more positive response I get, the more I want to participate. I guess everybody's that way. So, and the whole thing has been a very cool experience for me. What are my goals in YouTube? Well, I guess I'd like to keep on doing what I do, talking about films and talking about music, talking about Star Trek, and I'd like to be better at what I do, because I've looked at a lot of my videos many times. I study myself, really, and I realize that I make a lot of mistakes. For example, I did a video about the film Winter's Bone, which the review wasn't all that bad, but when I watched it again, I realized that I had the names of the name of one of the characters completely wrong, and it was embarrassing. I don't know if anybody else caught it. I'm sure somebody did, but nobody said anything. But I do make mistakes, and I just want to be better at presenting information, getting myself organized, and just doing better every time. Okay, so I guess that's my goal. As far as what else I'd like to do on YouTube, I suppose there are a lot of other things that are not related to films or music that I would kind of like to get involved in. And if I do that, I would open up a completely different channel with a different screen name, so that I wouldn't involve my friends in the DVD collectors and vinyl communities with other things that I want to talk about. So, because I don't think a lot of people don't want to hear about certain esoteric things, religious things. They're not interested, and I understand that. So there are a lot of things I don't want to hear either. So I don't want to offend anybody, and I don't want to start losing the subscribers I have. But yeah, there might be some other things I'd like to do on YouTube. But in the meantime, I'm just enjoying what there is, and I like hearing. I feel like I'm learning a lot. I'm learning a lot more about films, certainly about music, and it's been pretty wonderful. So just keep it up. Anyway, those are my answers. Take care, folks.